Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak. My name is Yakalba from Plain Tables Camp of Philly. Now, this is a conspiracy in the Bible. I break this lesson in two parts. Conspiracy and secret police in ancient Rome. Because America is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. And the extension would be the old world, the European powers. But America being Rome, Britain, France, Germany, etc., being the extension of the empire. But the power seat is in America, which would be Rome. All right. So we'll start off with conspiracy. Because, some people say that conspiracies aren't in the Bible, which is complete stupidity. And they plan on the ignorance of the people because the people are ignorant. Conspiracy, it's an act, all right? It's an act, meaning you carry it out. So in the Bible, when the word conspiracy shows up, it's going to say conspired. It's going to say right there, conspired or conspiracy. Let me try conspiring. Search for that also. It says a combination of persons for such an unlawful, harmful, or evil purpose. Law, an agreement by two or more persons to commit a crime, fraud, or other wrongful act. Any occurrence and action combination in bringing about a given result. All right. So that's pretty much the basis of what it means. Any occurrence and action in bringing about a given result. All right. So you can say it was one person, two people, 1,000 people, whether secret or not secret. All right. That's what it's meant when you conspire. All right. Now, the actual word conspire. Seek conspire. Let's go into conspire. Conspiracy. It means to breathe. All right. Con is with. Spare, to breathe. All right. To act in harmony, conspire. Equivalent to conspire, to breathe. All right. Yeah, so it means to breathe. See? Plot. All right. To breathe. So we're going to start off with conspired. Type conspired in and I typed conspiracy. So conspiracy shows up 10 times. Conspired shows up 19 times. All right. And again, this lesson is just for people that believe conspiracy is something that you watch in a movie. Because you have simple people out there that say, oh, y'all looking into movies and TV shows and reading these weird books that got nothing to do with religion or the Bible. Well, you're wrong, actually. All right. You're wrong. Conspired. We got H5230, H7194, and it shows up 7194 a lot. So I'm gonna look up both of them. I think I have it up already. All right. And his servants conspired against him and slew him and his own house, and conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder. Then Amaziah the priest of Bethel sent to Jeroboam king of Israel, saying, Amos hath conspired against thee in the midst of the house of Israel. The land is not able to bear all his words. All right. So we're going to look up 5230. So 5230 up. All right. We got Nakal, which means to be deceitful, be crafty. Pronounce that.
Knavish.
Knavish, deceiver, beguiled, act craftily, knavish. All right. Act treacherously. All right. So it's an act of carrying out something, to conspire. The last definition. Conspiracy. Any occurrence and action combination in bringing about a given result. Right. And when they saw him afar off, this is Joseph's brothers, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. 5230. Crafty. Dishonest, unscrupulous, deceiver, beguiled. They conspired against him to be defrauded, act treacherously. Faithfulness characterized by faithlessness or betrayal. All right. Then we have 7194. We got Quashar. This means to bind together, league together, conspire. And to plan something together. To bind fast. Conspire. Conspiracy. Conspirator. Join together down here. A league. To carry something about. Any occurrence in action, combination in bringing about a given result. All right, so it shows up 19 times. Conspired. All right, so conspiracies are all over the Bible. Also shows up as words not under conspired or conspiracy. Confederate. That's another one. All right, we're going to go with conspiracy now. Let's see, conspiracy. Yeah, conspiracy shows up 10 times. So at least, 35 times? And 19 plus 10, which would be 29. And you got one more in Esther, additions to Esther. Oh, and in Revelation. All right. So this is conspiracy. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, the Golanite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Gola, while he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. 7195. 87195. Quashar. And the root is 7194. Conspiracy, treason, unlawful alliance. All right. So, Esau coming together, lying about who the biblical Israelites are, which are us. All right. So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Confederacy. An unlawful alliance, confederacy. A conspiracy. All right, so there's your conspiracy in the Bible. There's your conspiracy in religion. All right. Let's keep going. It says, and his servants arose and made a conspiracy and slew Joash in the house of Milo, which goeth down to Silla. All right. And they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem. All right. So it's a lot here. there is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravaging the prey, and they devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. I believe that's talking about the false prophets, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the book of Acts 23 and 13. And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy. 49, 45. Do I have that up? 49, 45. We got Sunomasia, swearing together a conspiracy. Yeah, so any group, that's the Israelite group, or any group period, that's saying there's no such thing as conspiracies in the Bible, they're directly lying to you, or they're extraordinarily ignorant. All right. So this is like a definitive lesson. All right, conspiracy. I think we got there. Revelation 13 and 3. Oh no, that's different. This is book of Acts that I meant the conspiracy was in. Revelation 13 is the second part. So this should conclude the first part of the lesson. This is Editions of Esther. Chapter 16, verse 23, that both now and hereafter there may be safety to us and the well-affected Persians, but to those which do conspire against us a memorial of destruction. I mean, we hope they're destroyed, that come up against our building. All right. So conspired. It's in the scriptures. It's in religion. Conspiracies. All right. So if people are telling you that there's no such thing as conspiracies and these theories out there, or it has nothing to do with the Bible, they're lying. All right. It's only a theory is because you don't believe it. All right. And it's a theory because you see it in a movie or a TV show or in a book like Codex Magica. All right. Or Beyond Top Secret, talking about the UFOs. All right. Conspiracies are all throughout the scriptures. All right. So that means conspiracies go through all throughout our history. All right. So when you look at America and the different European powers, starting with America, America is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. So when you go back and look at the similarities to America, you'll find those same similarities in ancient Rome. All right, both ruled by Edomites and ruled by Israelites, starting with Septimius Severus. Right. Revelation 13 and 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So the deadly wound being healed is the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which rebirthed here in America. All right. So there is something called the Frumentari. All right. It says a Frumentari were an ancient Roman military organization used as intelligence agency. Intelligence agency. They began their history as a courier service. And you can take that anywhere you want. Courier service, UPS, FedEx, or whatever. USPS. All right. Meaning they operate under the guise of a normal service, and developed into an imperial spying agency. So you can say that, you can just take that anywhere you want. All right. That's how a lot of organizations start. They start off with, a certain intent, and then they evolve into something else. Because, you pay people off and you control the heads of them. Their organization would also carry out assassinations. The Frumentari were headquartered in the Sistra Peregrina. All right, so that's it there. And I got history. Says it had been a long-standing policy of the Roman legions and armies of occupation to utilize informants and spies, but never in an organized fashion. This was especially true in the city of Rome, which was rife with whispers and endless conspiracies. All right, so conspiracies always existed. All right, in biblical, secular, all history. All right, so that goes into religion, that goes into secular history, conspiracies. All right, it's a theory because you don't believe it. All right, it's a conspiracy because authorities aren't talking about it as being mainstream. So you put the theory on the end of it. All right, but conspiracies are standard throughout our history, whether biblical or secular, with those biblical and secular intertwined with each other. Go down here. It says it's on the history on Frumentari. They served as secret police and as intelligence agencies in ancient Rome. All right. Emperors would use them to gather information on their own friends, family, and officials or soldiers. This organization was sometimes tasked with assassinating whomever the emperor wished. Peasants disliked the Frumentari due to false and arbitrary arrest. They were seen as a tyrannical plague on the empire. You could say that about the police today with FBI. You know, those agencies were, evolved and developed over time to act as spies. So they get their concept of policing and their secret organizations from ancient Rome. All right. There. I'm gonna bring this in from a book. Took a picture of it. That's the cover. It's Illustrated Encyclopedia. We still rolling, right? Yeah, Illustrated Encyclopedia of the Roman Empire. All right. I think it was like $50. I think I bought it a couple years ago. There's a lot of good information in here. So we're gonna stick to police and secret police. All right. Let's go down. We got 100%. We got 130%. You can see that nice and big. This is page 110. So, police and secret police. For a long time, the Romans lacked two aspects of civil life that seemed essential to modern eye: a professional, local, or national police force, with some form a central criminal detective agency, and perhaps even more notably, a prison service to incarcerate criminals for long-term punishment. All right, and it tells you that they were elected under the. It just seems a lot like America, right? And Britain. Let's use those two. Britain representing Europe, America representing America, New Rome, and Britain being an extension. The military powers in America. Under the Republic from 376 BC, policing, still quite small, city was a task for the four aediles, 2 plebeian and 2 patrician, who were elected each year and who maintained public order. That sounds like a sheriff, right? Every state, not sure how it exactly works, either state or county, or maybe both, has a sheriff that you elect. All right, because America is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. All right, order, so you have to maintain public order. Later, the praetor urbanus or urbanus helped deal with the growth in crime. This patchy attempt to deal with crime was common. All right, some up ancient. These are what the guard look like. They can. It says over here. You can't see it on the left side. I didn't get that picture, so they could dress. They didn't have to really be in full like Roman military uniform. They could dress down. So you could call them like detectives or spies. Because detectives wear regular clothes. All right. Or detectives or undercover police officers. All right. It says in Rome, under the generally light government of early Principate, minimalist policing worked reasonably well at first, with troops from the Praetorian Guard always available as backup force. From the time of Severians, this is the first, I believe, Israelite ruler of ancient Rome, 193 AD to 233 AD. However, secret police who had already appeared under tyrannical rulers such as the Domitian and Commodus multiplied. And I believe those were Edomites. Yeah, it's before Severus. The later empire effectively became a police state whose horrors. All right, so we go. Police state, Augustus. Let's go down to what they were doing. It says the cohorts or urbanus or city cohorts who comprise first 3, then 4 cohorts of 500 men were commanded by the senator, the prefect of the city, the only armed force left directly under the Senate's control. It kept order of a sort in public places, more effective at night, where the vigiles or night watchmen, firemen, even brigades of 1,000 men, one for each 2 of the city's 14 wards, initially recruited from freemen who patrolled the streets at night. They seem, however, to have been more concerned with fighting fire than crime, for they carried buckets and that's an opinion right there, for they carried but they did carry buckets and pumps with them, so they were police / firefighters. All right. That's why while you can see the old videos from the 60s of the fire hoses on the protesters. It says right here. It says more night watchmen / firemen, 7 brigades. So that's a cut right there. That's a cut. I'm gonna get the video. Yeah. So here's a clip. Proves that the fire, and that's a direct cut on. That's how you link ancient Rome up with America. All right, that the police, that the night watchmen, which were the police / firemen. All right, they're the same people. All right. It says, however, they seem to be more concerned with fighting fires. Well, the firefighters are the police too. All right, they were fighting crime by fighting fires, and here's your evidence. We got I hope I can use this clip. Street protests, August 25th. What year is this? I'll put in fire hose. What do you see up here? Fire hoses on protesters. Martin Luther King. When I put Martin Luther King, more stuff came up, I believe. So these are the firemen are police. All right. That's the fire department. All right. So these are actually police. All right, because in ancient Rome, there we go. So you see it. Ancient Rome. So you're not going to get stuff like this from these ragtag other Israelite groups. All right, that don't go into secular history. All right. More effective at night were the vigiles, or night watchmen / firemen, 7 brigades of 1,000 men, one for each 2 of the city's 14 wards, initially recruited from freemen who patrolled the streets at night. They seemed, however, to be more concerned with fighting fires and crime. All right. So, keywords: night watchmen, which are police / firemen, because they're the same people, and they're maintaining order via fire hose. Somebody got a damn instrumental on it mixed with the people that they're screaming. All right, so there you go. They're your ancient Roman police. They coming back in the same spirit. All right, fighting fires, fighting crime. It's the same thing. Damn, that shit powerful as hell. Knocked his right on his ass. I forgot how powerful these fucking hoses was. Damn. Trying to get the ball, wasting all this damn water. It's gonna drop the water pressure the whole neighborhood. Man. So these are police in firefighter uniforms. There you go. So America is ancient Rome. All right. America is not. The ancient or Great Babylon. Great Babylon is America. All right. America is the rebirth of the ancient Roman Empire. All right. Stay back. There we go. They gonna beat it. Yeah. Detectives in the suits. Carrying this nigga off. Got the crackers on the outside. There you go. And this is protest in Belgium. Water cannon in Belgium. I ain't looked through this one yet. Fuck's the water cannon at? Go. This is in Europe. Now you can see that.
Develop their talent. We cannot say to 10% of the population that you can't have that right. Your children can't have the chance to develop whatever.
10% of the population. That's trying to say so-called black people are 10% of the population.
Population. That you can't have that right. And all the people who came here had an equal chance to develop their talent. We cannot say to 10% of the population that you can't have that right. Your children can't have the chance to develop whatever talents they have. That the only way that they're going to get their right is to go in the street and demonstrate. I think we owe them and we owe ourselves a better country than that. Had an equal chance to develop their talent. We cannot say to 10% of the population that you can't have that right. Your children can't have the chance to develop whatever talents they have. That the only way that they're going to get their right is to go in the street and demonstrate. I think we owe them and we owe ourselves a better country than that.
All right. Go back to this. All right. So the firemen and the police are the same people. They use the firemen as police. All right. So in ancient Rome, they were the same people. All right. It says night watchmen / firemen. But on their regular patrols through the city, they must have also acted as some sort of deterrent to crime. But despite this, we can assume that Rome remained dangerous at night. All right, I think I got some more. All right, so you got the state police, but the police state. All right, it's a lot here, but I'm just going to jump down to the police state. It says like all military dictatorships or democracies. I mean, that's not. They try to corner just the military dictatorships. This is throughout all democracy. All right, whether you call yourself a republic or not. The emperors made use of delatores, spies or informants who discovered or invented conspiracies, and speculatores, special mounted intelligence officers. That means spies. Like the Praetorian Guard, regular officials, unlike the delatores, who sometimes traveled around the empire. So you got the U.S. Marshals. All right, they go get you. It's the Interpol, that's around the world. FBI, I believe they can travel too. Or they might have a jurisdiction. But the wiser, that's an opinion. Emperors did not rely too much on them. That's like an opinion. It says, despite this, Trajan, Optimus Princeps, or the best emperors in the Senate view, started a new form of intelligence service, the Frumentari. I read that in the beginning. This grew rapidly under Septimius Severus, augmented by similar officials. So when he's a so-called black man, so not this guy. That's Trajan. I don't believe he was. I'll have to look up his line. I forget if is he before Severus or after Severus. All right. All right, so I think I'll leave that there. I can just zoom out. You can just pause it if you want to read the whole thing. Just pause if you want to read the whole thing. But I pretty much made my point that the police, the secret police, the Frumentari, the speculatores, started in ancient Rome. All right. And you can say how bad things got under Obama, where Obama's supposed to be the first black president, apparently. You know, the Frumentari actually started under him. The Frumentari that grew rapidly, it started, but it grew rapidly under Septimius Severus. All right, now we say, Obama was a Hamite, but he's considered like the first black president because they put all like colored people under the same banner. All right, so it got work like the drone strikes. If you research the drone strikes and the laws that came into office, they were a lot relative to, Bush. All right, but he's a Hamite. All right, but I hope you get my point. All right, let's go back to the Frumentari again. Frumentari, or ancient Roman military organization used as an intelligence agency. They began their history as a courier service. It's a conspiracy about Federal Express, FedEx. They say it's nothing federal about them, but then it's a conspiracy. I mean, why would they call themselves that name? Well, they get access to shipping people, the common people shipping stuff, so they could farther spy on their people. All right, that's a cut. All right, so be careful about what you're sending through the mail, because Esau has access to it, and it's pretty much a monopoly. You can see it's a monopoly. All these courier services, the big ones anyway. It's a monopoly. I want to read one more part for you. It's in the same book, under the secret workings of Roman politics. All right. Make sure you can see that nice and big. The oligarchical reality of the republic, which negated its seemingly democratic constitution. So that's the conundrum that we're in today. Like, they say we have a democracy, but it's just like the ancient Roman Empire or the ancient Roman Republic. Okay, it always has an oligarchical reality. All right. Here's the proof. So this is also called a conspiracy. All right, which negated its seemingly democratic constitution. Maybe we don't know what negate means. Let's look it up. Negate. 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 Make ineffective. That's what negate means.
Negate.
Nullify. Invalidate. All right, so all these conspiracies don't exist. There's no secret government. There's no deep state. It's a lie. There is definitely a deep state. There's definitely oligarchs running this country. The founding fathers were Masons. 9/11 was an inside job. All right. It says dependent on the huge web of patronage called the clientelia. All right, which means client, the poorer class, or it's what it tells you is a hierarchical system. I believe Wikipedia says that, but this is in my book. This was an informal but openly acknowledged system by which each noble commanded the loyalties of hundreds or even thousands of retainers bound to him in reciprocal relationship. This enabled the nobility to manipulate the assembly, which otherwise could have shown signs of democratic independence. Does that sound like anything familiar to you today? Politicians, voting, all right, buying off people, going out, getting the poorer people to vote, poorer people to support and donate, or even people of your same class that you just elect. They just have more power. All right. So the patronage called clientelia, if I'm pronouncing that right. All right. Yet again, because you missed it. This enabled the nobility to manipulate the assembly, which otherwise could have shown signs of democratic independence, actual democratic independence. Now, remember, Rome was supposed to be a republic, meaning you're supposed to vote. Not supposed to be this. Not supposed to be able to pay anybody off. All right, but it was well known, but openly acknowledged. So you knew about this, even though you could vote and all that. If you were a citizen, it was known that there was a oligarch, people that were ruling. There were oligarchs that were actually ruling. All right. What else we got here? Clients. All right. As early as the 5th century BC, possibly even under the kings, clientelia was an important part of Roman life. At its simplest, it was a personal relationship of mutual obligation between the patronus and the patron. Patronius, which is the person supplying the money or benefit, and the that's the person that's receiving it, I believe, and the patron is the person giving, who generally, obligation between the patron. All right, so this is the person supplying the money or the benefit here, who was generally a great aristocrat or patrician, and his clientus, which was the subordinate, either a poor person or may have been politically equal, just the patron had more power. All right, clientus or dependents, humble and usually impoverished plebeians. That's us, the poor people. That they go out and vote. Well, not us, but in general, people go out and vote. All right, for the patron, the one that has the money. Why you think all the politicians are all rich and wealthy? All right, Biden, Trump. I said Biden, yeah, Obama, Biden. That's a combination of Biden and Obama. Biden, Trump, Obama. They're all rich. All right, because they will be act as part as a patron, and the people will act the part as the clients. All right. Impoverished plebeians, which would be the regular people, and the regular people vote. How many plebeians voted for Trump, which would be the patron? All right. In the Republic later years, such clients came to include freed men, usually former slaves of the patronus or patronus, who formed an increasingly numerous group. But unless these freed men became Roman citizens and so able to vote, because only Roman citizens could vote. If you were freed, it doesn't make you a citizen. All right, go with the voting. We can see that. All right, the patron could look after his clients in many aspects of life. If they went to law, needed to borrow money, needed advice in general, or a guardian for their children, in return, the client, all right, gave his patron political support, both by voting for him and his allies in the assembly, and also by augmenting his personal following. There you go. That's what happens today with the voting thing. All right, you say you're going to do something for these people, and you in turn vote for them. Now this, in the ancient world, they had a little bit more power. So the patron saw himself as the pater familias, which means father of the family, or the household of slaves, in relation to his clients as head of an extended family, and their relationship had the same sort of highly charged feelings. All right, so they had a lot more direct power over these clients. But today you say they'll vote for a candidate despite all his crimes and things coming out of the bottom that are considered evil or bad or criminal. They'll still vote for him. All right, so in a sense they still have that like Trump, Biden. These are die-hard supporters of these people. They're reigning over them as pater familias. All right, now the pater familias, acting as a father, pretty much had power over life and death over the family. Now you don't necessarily have that today with the politicians and all that, but the spirit of it's still there. All right, you can clearly see it. All right, if you're using your spiritual eye and a little bit of good sense too. All right. All right, I think I'll leave that there. I think I made my point. Well, there may still be more here. It says, by 200 BC, the major noble families were organizing their bands of clients on a professional basis, mobilizing them in great blocks to vote as required. Well, there you go. See? There you go. Do I need to break that down? All right. Patron, client, or politician, voter. I'll read that again. By 200 BC, it's before September Severus, all right, the major noble families, the oligarchs, were organizing, which you got the Trumps, Bidens, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Trump, Bidens, Bushes, Clintons. By 200 BC, the major, which they're front men for the elite anyway, but by 200 BC, the major noble families were organizing their bands of clients, or different political parties and all that, or different groups. That one group likes that guy, the other groups likes the other guy, organizing their bands of clients on a professional basis, mobilizes them in great blocks to vote as required and to cajole and threaten other voters when required. I mean, the riots, marching on Washington, having their own rallies. All right. So there you go. So this is the likeness between America and ancient Rome. All right. Revelation 13:3, and I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So America is the wound that was healed. All right. And through America, they started the United Nations. And the League of Nations. League of Nations became, I believe, the NATO. Club of Rome, League of Nations, and it evolved into different organizations. You can just fact check that. I believe it was NATO and the European Union that it evolved into. All right, one or the other or both. All right, deadly wound was healed. All right, so those are some of the similarities of ancient Rome with America, and by extension, the different European powers. All right. And so I hope you're edified. I'll leave that there. I'll zoom it out so you can read it if you want. You can just pause that. What's the other page? And that's the other page. So let's pause it there. And that's the other page. All right, so I hope you were edified. Well, you can't really see it. Because you're probably going to be reading on the phone. But I read pretty much enough to keep you edified. So as much as I can. Well, these are the apartments. All right. I don't know where these apartments originated from, but in ancient Rome, they said there were a lot of these apartment blocks like this. It says below is the insolent, the often cramped apartment blocks where most Romans lived. Could be grim, being client of a rich patron, offering a small chance of improving, or at least some support. Also, even in ancient Rome, that voting thing was like to help improve their situation with the plebeians' situation. Yeah, you can see it right there. All right, so this is ancient Rome all over. America's ancient Rome all over again. All right. And if you see something, you just read it. All right. All right, but I'll end the lesson here. All right, so hope you edified. Shalom.